House will come back to order. House will come back to order. Chair recognizes Chairman Jaspers for a motion. Members of the House will please take your seats. Chairman Jaspers is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move that the House agree to the Senate substitute to House Resolution 820.
Chairman Jaspers has moved that the House agree to the Senate substitute to House Resolution 820. The clerk will read the caption.
House Resolution 820 by Representative England of the 116th, a resolution honoring the life of Mr. James L. J. Boss and dedicating the intersection in his memory.
Chair recognizes Chairman Jaspers to explain his motion.
Thank you. As y'all heard from the description of Chairman England's relatives, this is a road naming bill, and what the Senate did is add their late arrivals to our House resolution, and that's all it did, and it's in very good shape. I hope you vote to agree with that. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
On the gentleman's motion that the House agree to the Senate substitute to House Resolution 820, all those in favor of the motion will vote aye. Those opposed will vote no, and the clerk will unlock the machines. Have all members voted? Have all members voted? If so, the clerk will lock the machines. On the gentleman's motion, the ayes are 165, the nays are 0, and this House has agreed to the Senate substitute to House Resolution 820. Chair recognizes Representative Momdahan for a motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move that this House receive its position on Senate Bill 346.
Representative Momdahan has moved that this House recede from its position on Senate Bill 346. The clerk will read the caption.
Senate Bill 346 by Senator Mullis, the 53rd, and others to be entitled an act to amend Part 1 of Article 3 of Chapter 5 of Title 50, the official code of Georgia and Teddy relating the general authority, duty, and procedures of the Department of Administrative Services.
Chair recognizes Representative Momdahan to explain his motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. After working with DOAS and others, we found that the House bill was a little bit overly casting its nets too wide, I guess you'd say. And so we're going to roll it back to the Senate version that we feel that does a better job in catching those actors we're trying to catch. With that, Mr. Speaker, I'll yield the well.
On the gentleman's motion that this House recede from its position on Senate Bill 346, all those in favor will vote aye. Those opposed will vote no, and the clerk will unlock the machines. Have all members voted? Have all members voted? If so, the clerk will lock the machines. On the gentleman's motion, the ayes are 100. The nays are 66. This House has receded from the House position on Senate Bill 346. Chair recognizes Chairman Stevens for a motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move that this House agree to the Senate substitute House Bill 1053 as amended by this House.
Chairman Stevens has moved that this House agree to the Senate substitute to House Bill 1053 as amended by this House. The clerk will read the caption.
House Bill 1053 by Representative Stevens, the 164th and others, being entitled an act to amend Article 2, Chapter 7, Title 4080 of the Official Code of Georgia Annotated relating to imposition rate, computation exemptions, and credits for state income tax.
Chair recognizes Chairman Stevens to explain his motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen of the House, this is the entertainment post-production bill that is expiring. The Senate went in and gutted it pretty well. They put a 2-year sunset on the thing. This brings the sunset back to 3 years. It restores the transferability to 3 years. And this gives it time. As you might recall, we started taxing all the royalties on these films, which could be massive if it goes into syndication. And this gives it time for us to catch the revenues and stack those, if you will, over a long period of time. And I would ask for your favorable consideration.
On the gentleman's motion that this House agree to the Senate substitute to House Bill 1053 as amended by this House, all those in favor will vote aye. Those opposed will vote no, and the clerk will unlock the machines. What purpose does Chairman Carson rise?
Pursuant to Rule 133, I ask to be excused from this vote.
Gentleman has that right, and the journal will so reflect. What purpose does Chairman Todd Jones rise?
Pursuant to 133, I'd like to be excused from this vote.
Gentleman has that right, and the journal will so reflect. What purpose does Chairman Houston rise?
Parliamentary inquiry.
State your inquiry.
Can these tax credits be sold? Transferred, excuse me, that's the proper word, I guess.
Just give me a nod of the head. Yes. Yes.
Thank you.
Have all members voted? What purpose does Representative Holland rise?
Pursuant to Rule 133, I ask to be excused from this vote.
Lady has that right, and the journal will so reflect. Have all members voted? Have all members voted? If so, the clerk will lock the machines. On the gentleman's motion, the ayes are 132, the nays are 33. This House has agreed to the Senate substitute to House Bill 1053 as amended by this House. Chair recognizes Representative Cantrell for a motion.
I move that the House agree to the Senate sub for House Bill 56.
Chairman Cantrell has moved that this House agree to the Senate substitute to House Bill 56. Clerk will read the caption.
House Bill number 56 by Representative Cantrell of the 22nd to be entitled an act to amend Code Section 1562 of the Official Code of Georgia and Territory relating the number of judges of Superior Courts as to provide for additional judge of the Superior Courts of the Blue Ridge Judicial Circuit.
Chair recognizes Representative Cantrell to explain his motion.
Colleagues, this is a bill that we passed unanimously. It passed unanimously out of the Senate. The only change is the effective date. For budgeting purposes, we moved the effective date from July 1 to January 1. That's the only change. So I ask for your favorable consideration. Thank you.
On the gentleman's motion that this House agree to the Senate substitute to House Bill 56, all those in favor of the motion will vote aye. Those opposed will vote no, and the clerk will unlock the machines. Have all members voted? Have all members voted? If so, the clerk will lock the machine on the gentleman's motion. The ayes are 168, the nays are 0. This House has agreed to the Senate substitute to House Bill 56. Chair recognizes Chairman Dempsey for a motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move that the House agree to the Senate substitute to House Bill 412.
Chairman Dempsey has moved that this House agree to the Senate substitute to House Bill 412. Clerk will read the caption.
House Bill 412 by Representative Dempsey the 13th and others being entitled an act to amend Title 43 of the Official Code of Georgia and Territory relating to professions and businesses so as to provide for the licensure of individuals in the practice of applied behavior analysis.
Chair recognizes Chairman Dempsey to explain her motion.
As the clerk stated, 412 is the licensure of individuals in the practice of applied behavioral analysis. The House overwhelmingly voted to support this measure. The Senate added 3 changes. They added the addition to include service to the now in comp waivers, reference to the national website for technician registration, and an effective date of 7/1/2023. And that is all that they did. I ask that you agree with this. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I yield the well.
On the lady's motion that this House agree to the Senate substitute to House Bill 412, all those in favor will vote aye. Those opposed will vote no, and the clerk will unlock the machines. Have all members voted? Have all members voted? If so, the clerk will lock the machines. On the lady's motion, the ayes are 163. The nays are 5, and this House has agreed to the Senate substitute to House Bill 412. Chair recognizes Chairman Chokas for a motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move that the House agree to the Senate substitute to House Bill 918.
Chairman Chokus has moved that this House agree to the Senate substitute to House Bill 918. The clerk will read the caption.
House Bill 918 by Representative Chokus, the 138th and others being entitled an act to amend Title 31 of the official code of Georgia and Teddy relating to health, so as to provide for the establishment of the Georgia Rare Disease Advisory Council.
Chair recognizes Chairman Chokus to explain his motion.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Members of the House, House Bill 918, as you remember, created the Georgia Rare Disease Advisory Council. It passed the House overwhelmingly. The Senate changed lines 90 through 97, and to paraphrase that, to advise the Department of Community Health with respect to state health plans in their review of new medications, drugs, biological products within emerging fields for specialized medicine and gene editing therapies for the treatment of rare diseases. And also the department shall seek input from the Advisory Council on topics included but not limited to coverage, cost sharing, tiering, and utilization management. All these benefited the bill, and I ask for your favorable consideration, and I'll answer any questions if necessary.
No questions. On the gentleman's motion that this House agree to the Senate substitute to House Bill 918, all those in favor of the motion will vote aye. Those opposed will vote no, and the clerk will unlock the machine. Have all members voted? Have all members voted? If so, the clerk will lock the machines. On the gentleman's motion, the ayes are 162. The nays are 2, and this House has agreed to the Senate substitute to House Bill 918. Chair recognizes Chairman Todd Jones for a motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move that the House agree to the Senate substitute of House Bill 1009.
Chairman Jones has moved that the House agree to the Senate substitute to House Bill 1009. Clerk will read the caption.
House Bill 1009 by Representative Jones, the 25th to be entitled an act to amend Title 40 of the official code of Georgia and Teddy relating to motor vehicles and traffic so as to authorize the use of personal delivery devices to transport cargo within the state.
Chair recognizes Chairman Jones to explain his motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members, this is the robot bill, and there are 6 key differences coming back from the Senate that we work together to do. First and foremost, we limit the weight of the cargo to 100 pounds. We increase the distance in terms of the PDD being able to emit a sound by 3x from 2 feet to 6 feet. We lower the speed of the robot on a sidewalk to 4 miles per hour, which is the average walking speed of an adult. It requires a phone number be attached to the PDD or the robot, so it's answered by a Georgian. We thought that that was important, not a call center outside of the state. It increases the liability coverage to $250,000 from $100,000 and exempts the Atlanta Beltline. Mr. Speaker, that is a summary of the changes, and I'm happy to take any questions.
You have no questions.
Thank you very much. I yield the well.
On the gentleman's motion, all those in favor will vote aye. Those opposed will vote no, and the clerk will unlock the machines. Have all members voted? Have all members voted? What purpose does Representative Gravely rise?
Parliamentary inquiry.
State your inquiry.
Is it not true that the gentleman failed to recognize or at least state that the first model of these robots will be known as the R2D2 model?
I don't have any knowledge about that, so. Have all members voted? If so, the clerk will lock the machines. On the gentleman's motion, the ayes are 151, the nays are 14, and this House has agreed to the Senate substitute to House Bill 1009. Chair recognizes Representative Tyler Paul Smith for a motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I move that this House agree to the Senate substitute to House Bill 733.
Representative Smith has moved that this House agree to the Senate substitute to House Bill 733. The clerk will read the caption.
House Bill 733 by Representative Smith of the 18th and others to be entitled an act to amend Code Section 3363.3 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to definitions regarding guaranteed asset protection waivers so as to revise the definition of a guaranteed asset protection waiver.
On the gentleman's motion that this House agree to the Senate substitute to House Bill 733, all those in favor of the motion will vote aye. Those opposed will vote no, and the clerk will unlock the machines. What purpose does Representative Jasmine Clark rise?
Parliamentary inquiry.
State your inquiry.
Was the sponsor of the bill not going to present the bill? So, because the bill did change fundamentally. Is it not true? He never said anything. He never.
Huh? Did I not recognize you to speak to the bill?
No, Mr. Speaker.
Well, get back down here.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, clerk's office will cancel the vote. Chair recognizes Representative Tyler Paul Smith to explain his bill.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I bring to this House the Senate substitute to House Bill 733. This was our gap waiver bill, which this House passed overwhelmingly. You'll see the additions that were made by the Senate in the second section includes language that aims to diagnose breast cancer earlier by eliminating a patient's out-of-pocket costs for medically necessary diagnostic and supplemental breast examinations. Eliminating out-of-pocket costs for diagnostic imaging would improve access and lead to more patients receiving early detection services and return to screening. Mr. Speaker, in essence, that is the change to the bill, and I'll yield for a question.
You have a question if you care to yield.
I'll yield.
Chair recognizes Representative Holly up in the gallery for a question.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Do you yield?
Yes, sir.
Is it not true that it felt pretty good to get that run out of there before you even be able to speak that bill?
You know, Representative, I don't try to take any more initiative than what I'm given.
Thank
With that, Mr. Speaker, I'll yield the will.
On the gentleman's motion, all those in favor of the motion will vote aye. Those opposed will vote no, and the clerk will unlock the machines. Have all members voted? Have all members voted? If so, the clerk will lock the machines. On the gentleman's motion, the ayes are 161, the nays are 4. This, the gentleman's motion having has passed. The House has agreed to the Senate substitute to House Bill 733. Chair recognizes the chairman of the House Rules Committee.
Make a motion.
State your motion.
Speaker, I've got 3 bills that need to be sent back to Rules.
You want to try to vote them all three together?
That might at your pleasure. I'll give you the numbers.
Let's try it and see.
All right, H.R. 894, H.R. 1024, and SB 359.
Mr. Clerk, can you read the captions to those three? Clerk may proceed.
House Resolution 894 by Representative Camp of the 131st, proposing an amendment to the Constitution so as to provide the General Assembly shall be entitled to specifically appropriate all unanticipated federal funding allocated to the state for a fiscal year.
On the motion on H.R. 894, what was that, 894? On the motion is released to House Resolution 894. Is there objection to recommitting it to Rules? Hearing none, it is so ordered. House Resolution 1024, read the caption.
House Bill 1024 by Representative Kirby, the 112th, creating House Study Committee on indexing maximum weekly workers' compensation indemnity benefits.
Is there any objection to recommitting? There is objection. Does the gentleman move? Is there a move? There is a move. All those in favor of sending House Resolution 1024 back to Rules will vote aye. Those opposed will vote no, and the clerk will unlock the machines. Have all members voted? Have all members voted? If so, the clerk will lock the machine on the motion. The ayes are 97, the nays are 65, and this one is back in rules. The next one is
Senate Bill 359.
Senate Bill 359.
Senate Bill 359 by Senator Albers of the 56th and others to be titled an act to amend Chapter 1 and Title 15 of the official code of Georgia and Taylor relating to general provisions concerning courts so as to require a biennial report and recommendation from the Council of Accountability Court Judges of Georgia.
On the gentleman's motion to recommit Senate Bill 359, is there objection? Is there objection? The chair hears none, and it is so ordered. All three of those are back in the Rules Committee. Chair recognizes the chair of the House Rules Committee for an announcement.
Gosh, where's all the cheering? Rules will meet at 7:30. Rules will meet at 7:30. Thank you.
The House Rules Committee will meet at 7:30. This house will be in recess for dinner until 7:40. 7:40.